Bradsell going in, and they're all in line. They're off in the turf sprint. AG Bullet goes out to the early lead with Cockburn now moving through between horses. Easy Vungu Vungu is there on the outside. Bradsell is sent hard, and then comes Star of Mystery, Big Ebs and Arzak. Big Invasion, Howard Wallowitz, and Motorious on the inside are next. And Starlust is the trailer. It is Cockburn on top. The leader by a half a length, and now spurting away. There goes Cockburn to open up by 3 lengths on the far turn. And Izzy Vungu Vungu is moved up into second. Bradsell is third. Then Big Ebs on the outside, followed by AG Bullet. Irad Ortiz and Cockburn have a 4-length lead at the top of the stretch here in the turf sprint. They come bounding by the 8th pole clear. Izzy Vungu Vungu tries to gain ground. Then AG Bullet. Starlust is rallying up the rail, and they're getting to Cockburn now. Here comes AG Bullet. Here comes Starlust. Starlust comes from the clouds to win. AG Bullet in a photo with Motorious for second in 55.92 seconds.
What a shocking finish here. Literally 5 horses with a chance and 110 yards to go, but Starlust makes the most of it at 30-1.
It's hard to know what to say. Cockburn did get the lead. He was fast, just as Bill, but so fast with so much pressure. Takes a toll in the last portion of the race. But here, a good start for almost everyone. Very few excuses, despite all the delays.
Look at where Starlust ends up. He's actually last here. Cockburn's pace in the early part of the race, blistering, but he's got pressure. Yes, he draws away from them, but he's had to work really hard. He's flat out here looking at Cockburn through the race, and Bradsell, Holly Doyle, just glances over. She's sitting on his shoulder. Issy Vungu Vungu in behind. Big Ebs, who won the juvenile turf sprint last year, he can't keep up. AG Bullet down on the rail, and that was Howard Wallowitz getting checked up and going backwards. Ross O'Ryan and Rafe Beckett have had the most wonderful year, winning the Arc just recently with Blue Stocking, and now they've had a massive day winning the Breeders' Cup
How
sprint.
does he find his way out of here? He's stuck on the rail, just trying to maintain that position, and now he's going to get a tiring Cockburn right back in his face.
He's very fortunate that the rails open up at that point to give you the opportunity to get a little cushion of space rather than had that rail continued. I don't think the horses would have allowed that.
Okay, it's posted on the board 4-2-5-6-9. How about Motorious flying late for second? AG Bullet, those antics at the starting gate. But as we go overhead, how about the 10 Issa Vunga Vungo taking out of here at a crucial point when all the action starts to happen?
I'm kind of trying to figure out if that was just a matter of...
So watch the 4 go into the South African.
The early pace taking a little toll.
But are you surprised there's not a steward's inquiry?
I think
there is a steward's inquiry. They are going to take a look at this. That action, yes. In fact, they're looking at the top 4 finishers. You know,
wild.
Look, with Issa Vunga Vungo, this horse was holding position. Did the 4 come in, create room here? Let's watch. I mean, you know, here's the thing, Rishi, and I always say this. Manny Franco takes up out of there when the 4 comes over. If he doesn't, Caden, isn't this horse clipping heels and maybe he's out of the saddle?
But I think that the 4 had to come over because the 9 comes over. As the 9 starts to tire, watch what happens. He absolutely comes right into the eventual winner's path. If he doesn't take over, he clips heels.
It's a concertina effect caused by Cockburn on the head-on anyway, drifting over to his right under pressure, weakening under pressure.
So there's no obligation for the rider on the 4? So you're telling me once the 9 comes out, the rider on the 4 can do whatever they want to the rest of the...
What could he do? What could he do at that moment?
He would have gone down if he holds his course.
At this point, what do you expect him to do just here?
He has to move.
To the detriment of Issa Vunga Vungo.
Well, he just moved one path to avoid going down.
So if you're saying if there's any disqualification, it would be from Cockburn from 5th, placed behind Issa Vunga Vungo.
Well, You tell me, where is he supposed to go?
I have to tell you, now
this does look a little different.
And the drone view, it looks like the jockey has some other decisions that could have been within the rules.
The head-on tells one story.
Yes.
This view tells another. At this point, there seems to be plenty of room. And here, he does have an option.
He does.
And, Risha, I have to ask you this because the drone view has become very popular for adjudicating situations like this in American racing. Do they do that overseas?
We take as many angles as we can now. And they actually work with the television companies to make sure that they cover as many angles, certainly in the UK. But watching this now, I'm slightly more concerned than watching the head-on about Ross Orion's path.
I agree with that. But I would also, here's what the stewards are going to be considering as well. Because right now, I don't see that the 2 caused any problem, did he?
No, or the 5.
Or the 5.
Well, maybe
and the 10, or Isi Vungu Vungu, could be arguing that he was a tiring horse. So the question is, did it cost Isi Vungu Vungu a position?
Okay, so the rules that are in California racing, do they apply to the Breeders' Cup? Because out here we talk about that. The standard is if the foul cost the horse that was fouled a better placing, then it warrants a disqualification. So if that's the rules we're following here, did this cost a better placing to the aggrieved, which was the 10, Isi Vungu Vungu?
I don't know. I think it's a very tough call.
And I go back to what I was saying originally, Rishi. Putting aside that, the 10 could have clipped heels badly here, and it could have been a worse situation if not for the evasive action of Manny Franco when he realizes the 4 is coming over and he just takes up out of there. So the whole best finish thing, I'm not quite sure about. Let's get to the bottom line here, and I think this may go on for a little bit. Very unofficial. Definitely looking at the winner and the 5th place finisher. If you were a steward, Rishi Prasad, would you leave the winner up here, Starlust?
I think I would, because I felt Isi Vungu Vungu was going backward at the time, and I felt that there was an emerging gap. Perhaps the only question I would have is that Ross Orion has probably gone for the gap half a stride earlier than ideal but it was closing on him. And I think he was compromised by it. But I think Isi Vungu Vungu was going backwards.
And, Caton, they have gone to the pan view now. We're showing everyone out there what the stewards are requesting for angles. They may ask for another one here. So my question to you, if you were voting whether or not to disqualify Starlust, would you do it?
I'm going to be saved by the call.
The stewards have ruled that there will be no change to the order of finish. The result will stand 4-2-5-6-9.
That's what I would have said.
What a start to this Breeders' Cup Saturday. The first 2 championship races, 19-1, and now a 30-1 shot here with Starlust. 4-2-5-6-9, 30-1, over 12-1, over 9-1, over 7-1, over 4-5. You're watching and listening to the Breeders' Cup Players Show.
Amazing.
Race 5 is official. The upcoming 6th race is the 41st running of the Grade 1 $2 million guaranteed Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff. Scratch number 3 Batucada, scratch 8 Miss New York, and scratch 9 Awesome Result. Post time 1:21. Yeah, now entering the winner's circle is the official winner of today's Prevagen Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, number 4, Starlust. He's a 3-year-old dark bay or brown colt by Zoostar from Beyond Desire by Invincible Spirit, and was bred in Great Britain by Branton Court Stud. The winning owner is Mrs. Fitriani Hay. Winning trainer is Ralph Beckett. Rasa Ryan, the winning jockey.
Coming up now will be 2 views of the steward's decision. In the stretch, you will see the number 4 Starlust does drift out in the stretch, but in the unanimous opinion of the stewards, it did not warrant a disqualification. Number 4 Starlust is in the pink and green colors. And you will see in the stretch run that number 4 will drift out, but in the unanimous opinion of the stewards, it did not warrant a disqualification. I'll show you one more view from the drone angle. Again, number 4 Starlust is right now on the inside in 5th place. You'll see this horse through the stretch drift out, but again, in the unanimous opinion of the stewards, the drifting out by number 4 Starlust did not warrant a disqualification.